My name is Larry Skinner. I am the Chief Operations Officer for FlexKom America, headquartered here in Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. We do this conference call pretty much every weekday, barring any holidays or any meetings or events that might preclude this. Anything that's said on this conference call can be repurposed as FlexKom sees fit. So with that said, we're going to do the housekeeping, and then we're going to open up for Q&A. This session is going to be about 45 minutes long because of another meeting I have to rush into, just like the meeting I just left with Europe. That meeting went well. There are a lot of great things that we're working on and making sure we're vetting every single thing that we do to make sure that it is compliant in all 50 states. So we are working really long hours to make sure that everything of these new promotions and new items that we want to bring to you is compliant with all 50 states. So just got out of another meeting there, and that is good for you and good for everybody that's out there. The building and the energy keeps increasing. We see more and more activity on our website. So at FlexKom.com, we're seeing more and more people clicking on it. So that is an uptick that is pretty substantial for people actually hitting our website. People from yesterday wanted me to wrote in and asked for me to repeat those numbers about sign-ups and activity, so let me get to that. Every 2 seconds, somebody somewhere on Earth, that's for all of Earth, is doing a transaction. So if you count 1001, 1002, somebody at some terminal just made a purchase, just like that, somewhere in the world. We're still working on the statistics for the United States alone, but that's a world estimate, and that's averaging the use over a 7-day period. So that's the average. Gives you that there's a transaction every 2 seconds somewhere on Earth at a terminal. That is insanely wonderful. All right, there's a sign-up every 10 minutes. If you average everything out, there's a sign-up every 10 minutes for a partner somewhere on Earth or a merchant somewhere on Earth. The thing that I said about the United States was, on average, during the workday, it turns out that every 15 minutes, actually, yes, during the workday, every 15 minutes somebody's signing up at some level in this opportunity in the United States. So that is as a customer, as a partner, or as a merchant. So these are great numbers. So I'll go over them one more time because they said I kind of ran through them last night, and I'll increase my volume here. I could see that I didn't do that right. There we go. So every 2 seconds, there's a transaction at a terminal somewhere on Earth. That's every 2 seconds. So 1001, 1002, transaction. 1001, 1002, transaction. In France, in the United States, in Italy, there's a transaction. There's a sign-up every 10 minutes. That's globally as well. And then here in the United States, in the business hours, you're kind of counting that as from 9 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Pacific, there is a sign-up of one type or another, either as a customer, as a merchant, or as a partner every 15 minutes. Are you next? Are you the next person to sign up another person? If you're a prospect on this call, are you the next person to actually go and commit into FlexKom? You can do it. The other thing that I got some emails about was what was I talking about with engage? What I'm talking about is engage with everyone. Engage with the person that brought you into this opportunity. If you can't reach them, then reach out to Bill Resides Group. Bill Resides Group can be basically probably the best way to engage with them is to first listen to the blog talk. That's the Bill Resides Radio Blog Talk. There's a blog talk tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific, making it 10 a.m. Eastern. And the way that you get there is www.nextlevelteam.net. www.nextlevelteam.net, and the phone number there is 646-716-8438. Basically what you do there is the phone will prompt you. There's an automated message that will prompt you how to get in the queue to speak if you want to speak or ask a question. Otherwise, if you just want to listen, just call 646-716-8438. A very popular show, great energy, a way for you if you're a prospect, if you're sitting on the fence. I don't understand that because we have the opportunity of a lifetime in front of you right now. But if you are on the fence and you want to hear some great energy, great reasons to join, 646-716-8438. and that will be, I believe, hosted by Eric Stennert, but I don't know exactly who's covering for Bill. I believe Bill's not going to be on that call tomorrow, but I believe he'll be on later next week. And the way that works is the Bill Resides Radio Blog Talk, Bill Resides Radio Blog Talk, that happens live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tomorrow, Volker Weining's webinar that normally happens at noon Eastern, making it 9 a.m. Pacific, will not be happening. Volker is traveling, but he's scheduled to come back on Monday and do his normal webinar. His webinars are very popular, and we archive those webinars on our YouTube channel. That's Power to Change, Power, the number 2, CHANGE. If any of this I'm talking too fast, which I do get emails about that, I apologize, just excited, and I'm a fast talker anyway, send the email to americansupport@flexkom.com. We had some people who were sending the email to America Support or American Supports. It's American Support. None of it's plural. American Support at FlexKom.com. Also at FlexKom America, inc.com. That's where you can go and subscribe to get our daily emails. The way that it works is, on average, it averages out that you're getting an email every day sometimes, so we want you to know that going in. For those folks that haven't tuned in a while, we are going to add every email address for anybody that's still active in the opportunity into that same contact list, because the states have requested that of us to be compliant in all 50 states. So we are going to add your name to that contact list. And if you don't want to receive the daily emails, the states that told us to do it, they like the fact they subscribed, and they like the fact that if there's breaking news, we send an email immediately. We send our newsletters through that as well. They like that fact that there's that contact with corporate, with the field and corporate being connected like that. And so they requested, I'm going to say requested, or demanded that we do that, so we're doing it. It's just going to take us some time to do it. If you have not received your terminal yet, please send an email to americansupport@flexkom.com. All VIPs should have received their terminals, all KTM should have received their terminals, and all K1s through 20 should have received their terminals. So if you have not received your terminal and your payment did go through for those three categories, then please send an email to americansupport@flexkom.com and give us your ID number, your partner ID number, DMR ID number, and a little bit of information about yourself, like maybe your phone number, so that we can confirm that you are you, and that we can talk about the information regarding your payments. Otherwise, we'll have to send back an email saying, okay, we need to make sure that you are the account holder, so we'll have to ask you something to confirm that, either your phone number or the last 4 digits of your tax ID, something to that effect. The other thing that we need to clarify is we do need your W-9 form in if you're a partner. If you're a merchant, we also need your W-9 form. So the W-9 form can be you basically go get the W-9 form from irs.gov. So that's irs.gov, and you just type into the search window there the letters W and the number 9, and it will take you right to that form. And basically all we need is the part that you sign and fill out. We don't need the instruction pages, but we definitely want you to take a look at the instruction pages, because nobody on our team here in corporate can help you fill out that form. You need to either read the instructions, the 3 pages of instructions, or contact your tax expert. If that tax expert's your husband or your wife, do that. If you're using software, it can help you out as well. Or you can actually call the IRS. At irs.gov, there's a phone number there. You can give them a call, and they can assist you with it. But here in the office, the states don't want us and the feds don't want us to help you fill out the tax form. You need to talk to a tax specialist or to the IRS directly. We do have a playback number for these conference calls. That number is 559-726-1299. So the number that you called to get on this call today is 559-726-1200. The playback number is 559-726-1299. It's the same participant code that you used to get in today. That participant code number is 329807#. So the participant code is 9807#. And basically what you're going to hear on that conference call is the last conference call that we recorded. For example, we're recording this conference call right now. It will replace whatever conference call was up on that service at that number yesterday. And in general, what we do is we take the conference calls and instead of trying to rotate them through on the phone, we put them up on our YouTube channel, Power to Change, Power, the number 2, CHANGE, and you'll see the audio archives of these conference calls on basically all the way back to June, I believe, maybe further back than that. And you'll also see the recordings, the screen captures of Volker Weining's webinars, as well as tutorial videos and so forth. We have changed that page so that if you are not a subscriber, when you go to Power to Change, we had people who wrote in, sent us emails at American support at FlexKom.com and said that our YouTube channel was broken because there's only one video there. What that is it's basically a trailer video is what YouTube calls it, basically a promotional video, one that you want to get a lot of hits. So if you have a YouTube channel yourself, you can have the ability to do this on your YouTube channel. And so we have that 2-3 minute long video that gives you the overview of what FlexKom is. We really want to get thousands upon thousands of hits on there. We should be at 30,000 hits for that, 100,000 hits. We need to do that. Every time you go there and click on that, you're helping to raise our brand management. You're helping anybody else that's out there marketing this opportunity, that when somebody Googles FlexKom, they'll come to that video. If that video has 100,000 hits, then that will be the first thing that Google will pop up. That's how you get to the top of search engines, is by putting out positive messages and then having everybody in the field click on those messages on a regular basis. So everybody on this call, please go over there and subscribe. You're helping yourself. You're helping raise FlexKom's brand by going over there and doing that. And so once again, the archives of these conference calls are over there. Volker's webinars are over there, as well as tutorial videos and other videos from events and things like that. You'll find those there. Our Facebook page has links to that, as well as our Twitter, our Pinterest, and so forth. We do have those social media outlets there. And if you want to have those links from us, send an email to American support at FlexKom.com, and we'll give you a whole list of our social media links. And we are still allowing people to friend us on Facebook. So take the opportunity before we get too many friends. Once we get to 5,000 friends, we have to switch over to the next level where we basically all you can do is follow us and like us. You won't be able to be a friend with us. The advantage of you being a friend with us is you have bragging rights to be able to say, hey, I'm a friend of FlexKom. Trust me, in about 12 months from now, that's going to be an amazingly powerful thing for you to say. So that's most of the things that I wanted to go over as housekeeping issues. The question keeps coming up about the 5S terminals. This will be my last housekeeping item. Right now we're shipping 4S terminals. We still have several hundred 4S terminals here at the headquarters. And so until we deplete our supply of these 4S terminals, that's what a merchant's going to receive. We have some videos from the merchant's back office that we'll make available to you in your back office and on our YouTube channel pretty soon here. Those show you that from the merchant's point of view, when they go and try and purchase their terminal, it says that it's a 4S terminal. So it's a POS 4S terminal. And once again, the difference between a POS 4S and a POS 5 is very minimal. It's mostly aesthetics. It's got gold paint, for example. It has a very small increase in clock speed and a very small increase in memory. Side by side, doing a transaction, they complete the transaction at the same time. There is no real advantage from a human point of view. So it's mostly aesthetic, and you'll see things like if you are looking at the FlexKom International Facebook page, they talk about the 5S and all that. Basically, those 5S terminals receive their electronic equivalent of UL certification, CE certification a while ago. Europe's certification process is faster than the United States of America's certification process. Our UL labs, our consumer electronics labs, go through. It takes longer to get a certification for electronic device here than there. So that's why the 5S deliveries here were delayed. So once we move through and place these 4S terminals, that is by your work, you go out and you sign up partners at the new $399 level, and they go out in their town and they start signing up merchants, and those merchants purchase those terminals from their back office. We will deplete the number of 4S's terminals that we have here, and then we'll make another order for the 5S terminals. So just know we're still shipping 4S terminals at this time. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to condition the line. Hold on for one moment. Okay, so just one at a time. Just hit *6 if you have a question. Sometimes it takes a couple of moments here. Let me see. I can see people have queued up, so I am going to unmute this person.
Hey, Larry.
There, can you hear me? Go ahead.
Hey, Larry. Larry Holcomb.
Hi, Larry.
Hey, Jane was nice enough to send me the transfer form when we sell a terminal from a KTM to a merchant. And I noticed on the form it says KTM gives all rights up when they sell that terminal, but we still get our commission on it. Is that correct? As a KTM?
That's right.
Okay.
Right. So the KTM is giving up their part of it if they're transferring that to a partner.
Right. So it's totally the merchants, and they have to do any warranty on it, but we still get our KTM just like we were promised to begin with.
Oh, your percentages? Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's all. It didn't look like it on the form, but I understand.
Yeah, you still do. And so for you brand new people, and we receive a lot of emails for people who are prospects and also brand new partners, welcome to all of you. What Larry's talking about is when we went through several phases, getting to the phase that we're in now. We're open for business, and we had a time where we had a process called the KTM process, which is a one-time event that happened in Atlanta, Georgia, and terminals were sold in bulk effectively, and we're talking about what are the options that a person that bought these bulk buy terminals, what can they do with them? So that's what that's about. Thank you very much, Larry. Any other points you want to make?
No, that's okay. I'll get off the line. Thank you, Larry.
Well, hopefully you'll stay on the call because people always ask for your opinion. So please stay close.
Well, I shared I had several people, including Alex, that needed that because he was trying to place a terminal today. So, and that's coming in our certified letter. Is that correct? We'll get a copy of that?
That's right, yes.
Okay. Well, I've had so many people call me or email me since I gave out my email, but I've been helping people and sharing stuff, so I hope that's okay.
And we can't thank you enough for that.
Well, I sent it to Alex. Alex is great, and I know he's on the call, so hey, Alex, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hope you had good luck placing a terminal today, because that's what he's doing.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Yeah, we are working through that bottleneck with the serial numbers, so please be patient. It's part of our success in selling and shipping so many terminals in such a short period. We are working through those. We're hitting little snags every once in a while with numbers, but we're going as quickly as we can.
So I stand corrected. So we should not place those terminals until you get that glitch worked out. Is that correct? And we get an email?
It would be best to send us the email with the information that we requested yesterday. Let me pull that up here.
Before we place the terminals.
Yes, because that
okay.
will, as you're placing the terminals. But yes, if you know that you're going to do it, we need the ID number. So the ID number for the merchant, the dealer ID number, merchant ID number, that has to exist for us to complete the.
Well, I told him to send everything in. I mean the merchant number, the terminal number, card number, his grandmother's last maiden name, and everything.
Larry, I'm here. Hi, thank you. And Larry, and I'm in between, so I wish I make a wish. And Larry was helpful for me, but unfortunately I was successful finally in one of two biggest real estate in Brooklyn, New York City, because I could not, as yesterday example was, you remember Mr. Larry Skinner, you explained what to do. I wrote an email with 4 numbers IDs and ID of merchant, which because I stuck when I tried to register POS, point of sale, my terminal in real estate.
Well, my team is still working, so we still have another hour and a half that they'll be going through emails, so it might still happen that they'll process that today.
Yeah, I would like tomorrow continue and finalize. I would greatly appreciate if you will resolve and answer me, please.
Okay, as soon as I'm off this call, I'll look at that while I'm on the next conference call.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Thank you very much, both of you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Alex. Fantastic. Yeah, this is Partners Helping Partners, DMRs Helping DMRs. That's wonderful. Keep up that great work, guys. Okay, we had somebody else just clicked in. Go ahead and ask the question.
Hello, Larry. This is Steve Cobb in Cordele, Georgia.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Man, we're doing great. I tell you what, just having a great time with FlexKom and all that's going on. And, man, we appreciate the wonderful job there that you do every evening. I needed a little bit of a clarification, though, about the thing on the age, on 18 years old. Now, see, I see that in the merchant registration, and I also see that in the policies and procedures for DMRs.
Mm-hmm.
But under the consumer terms and conditions, it does call for a Social Security number and a birth date. But is that also 18?
Yes, it is. So just to be clear, and what we're talking about is prior to us getting this level of certification from in compliance for all the states, they didn't put this onus on us. But now they have said, in order to be compliant in certain states, and I'm not going to call them out, their government requires it, we need to have the person acknowledge that they're 18 or older. When they go to log in online, they'll see a checkbox where they have to check in order to make an advance to the next screen, that they have to say that they're 18. When they are receiving the Flex app, it's in those 2 pages of agreements that they're agreeing that they are 18. So the reason why this is that if a person signs up as a customer and then they are successful in kissing out and kissing a lot of people, then they're going to be receiving overrides from those people. They can receive more than $599 in overrides, and so that's effectively they are their own business. They're entrepreneurs whether they like it or not. I talked to my sister about this, and she's like, well, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Well, you are just by joining. That's just how it works. And so in order to be compliant with the rules for starting up a business in all 50 states, you have to be 18.
Okay, well then, like I say, you might want to look at the newly loaded consumer terms and conditions because it's not stated in there. And I thought for sure that's what we had mentioned on one of your calls, and so I just wanted to kind of clarify that.
Okay, it should be in that document, I believe, but it definitely they're going to get that when they go online. They'll get it, and when the app downloads, when they're downloading the app and installing it, and then they hit accept. Once they download it and they start installing it, they have to make 2 clicks for I accept, I accept. If they read those, it says you have to be 18.
Okay, all right, very good. Like I say, just want to be clear on that. Thanks.
I'll take another look at that, but once again, when you're doing this all day long, you're looking at revision number 37 on consumer terms and conditions.
I understand.
A lot of times you don't things. Thank you very much, Steve. I'll take a look at that.
All right, thanks, sir. Well, let's carry on.
Thank you. All right, keep up the great work. All right, next question, star 6. There we go. Go ahead. I can hear your background, so you're there. Go ahead. Well, while we're waiting for that, I'll just kind of go over a couple of points that we've made this week. All terminals should be shipped. If you haven't received your terminal, and that was the last thing I did not clarify. So if you're a VIP, you should have received your terminal or terminals. If you're a KTM, you should have received your terminal or terminals. If you are a K1 through 20, you should have received your terminal or terminals. If you have not by now, send an email to americansupport@flexkom.com. That leaves the last category, that's to receive their terminals. These are the people that received terminals as some promotion in 2013. So between August of 2013 and early December of 2013, there were various promotions that had happened. For instance, the Thanksgiving one. So between November 25th and the last day of November, had the ability to have earned a terminal by meeting certain criteria. If you did do that, send the email to americansupport@flexkom.com, and we'll vet that, make certain that you met those criteria. And those terminals from those promotions in that time of 2013 need to be reprogrammed. They basically only spoke German at that time, so we have to reprogram those terminals. Once that reprogramming is done, we'll ship those out to you. So we're just waiting for the last steps in the reprogramming of those terminals, and then we will get those out to you. So if you think you qualified for one of those back in August of 2013, last year, then send an email to americansupport@flexkom.com and you include your ID number. Okay, I can hear somebody, so go ahead and ask your question.
Larry.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good evening, FlexKom America. David, Southern California. One question. We had a meeting this afternoon and with a new prospect, and I was kind of uncertain. I was uncertain as to joining as a DMR. If that person joined as a DMR, there's really no need for DMRs under the new model to purchase a KTM, is there? And to purchase a point-of-sale terminal, a POS4 terminal, if the merchant would purchase directly from the website. Is that correct? And if there is an option for a DMR to purchase a terminal, is there any reduced pricing, or would it be the same as a merchant?
Right now, a person coming in right now does not have the ability to purchase a terminal. Now it's done where the merchant purchases the terminal in their back office after their account is set up. So if the partner comes in today or 5 months from now or next week, and the way that they want to run their business model is they want to have a terminal, then they would talk to their upline. They'd talk to you, for example, and say, do you have a terminal that I could purchase because I want to have a demo terminal? Then the two of you will have a form in your back office for a change of ownership of the terminal between partners, so partner-to-partner change of ownership for that sort of procedure. Anytime a terminal passes from one partner or KTM to another partner or KTM, then it strips out the arrangement of the initial purchase. So if somebody bought a K1 terminal or a K20 terminal, and they wanted to exchange it to a new party that just signed up as a DMR, then it would take the K20 attributes away from it during the transfer. So the terminal would be, in that case, a terminal for demo only.
Okay, so basically it's the same process as issuing a terminal to a merchant with the change of ownership form.
It's a similar process in that a form has to be completed and signed by both parties, but as opposed to if you're placing a terminal in a location, then the attributes of the original purchase keep going forward. So if you're a KTM and you meet a KTM or you know a KTM and they want to place a terminal in a merchant for you, then the KTM is going to get their override as per normal from the FlexKom side, and you're going to get your 20% from the partner side. So everybody still gets compensation, and as Larry Holcomb was asking, the KTM still gets their percentage from the FlexKom side, so that stays true. But if the KTM, an example showing where that's not true is where a KTM either sells or gives, it just exchanges ownership of their terminal to a DMR, then that strips out the KTM commissions. They disappear because the KTM is supposed to place terminals with merchants. If you're doing anything outside of that, it strips out the KTM aspect of that terminal. Okay?
Okay, that answers it very clearly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good question. And sorry if I'm getting too technical there. Just kind of listen to these conference calls a couple of times a week, or listen to the recording of it, and you'll kind of hear it for you brand new people. You'll hear what we're saying, and you'll understand it a lot better after listening to a couple of archives. Okay, next call. Okay, if you don't have a question, go ahead and hit *6. Otherwise, I'll keep going through my notes here. All right, fantastic. Somebody sent an email. We did respond to them, but a very popular question is, what is Gary Elvis Britt's email address? That is mcommerceaction@gmail.com. So mcommerceaction@gmail.com. He has a lot of great materials for you, the 10 questions and so forth. You really want to engage with him. He's a great guy. He doesn't ask you whose organization you're in other than conversationally. Just, ask him where you're from sort of thing. But he'll help you. It doesn't matter whose line you're in. Like Larry Holcomb, like the other leaders you have on this call, you're dealing with people who realize that if you are interested in this and you go out and you place a terminal in your hometown, that's helping him no matter where he is relative to you. Doesn't matter. Everybody placing terminals everywhere, that's the goal right now. If anybody has a question, I can see a couple open lines right now where your mic is open. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right. Yes, Larry. This is Steve Cobb again.
Hey, Steve.
I guess now I'm going to have to regress just a little bit. We were just talking about the KTM terminals. Now, it was my understanding that a KTM purchased the terminal, but it was required to be set by a DMR.
That is right.
So when the DMR sets that terminal, why would the KTM lose their percentage?
They won't. We're talking about an extraneous example where the KTM percentage is stripped out of that terminal. That's where he wants the KTM, for whatever reason, knows a partner, a DMR, maybe the DMR that brought him in, and the DMR says, I want another terminal because I want to do demos. There will be a form for that exchange to happen, but that will strip out the KTM's percentage from it.
Okay, I understand. I wanted to be sure about that because wait a minute.
Well, see that. I had to look for an example where that would be true, where it would strip out there are scenarios where you can strip out the original attributes of that terminal.
And remember Rule 1: do not demo the terminal. Rule 1.
Yeah. If you want to place that terminal, don't demo it, because we do have it's stated that you can't place a terminal that's damaged into a merchant. You can't do that. So you really don't want to play with them or even use them as a demo if your goal is to place it.
Larry, quick question. When's the term? I'm sorry. I apologize. Was he through asking a question?
Yes. Go ahead, Larry.
Okay. When's the printer coming out? I bought 2 printers. I know they weren't from FlexKom, but they work awesome. When's the possibility of getting printers from FlexKom?
Still have not gotten confirmation on that from Europe. The problem actually from China. The issue there was the same issue we had with the 5S, POS 5S, that the UL approval and the CE approval hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
That's what's holding us up right now.
I put one in a restaurant that where they pay at the table or away from the table, at the table, and it works great. I put one in my business, and when I'm busy, I give out my QR code on a little sheet of paper, and I go ahead and print out the QR code for their cash back and staple it to it. And I said, download this, and I'm getting better results with people doing it after the fact. Does that make sense?
Absolutely does, because they can do it at their leisure, at their convenience.
And there's money tied to it. I think I gave out 5 today. I'm over 100 myself for my own business now, and it's exciting.
Wow, that's great.
And it's no problem getting
on the horizon here. So keep up the great work.
I can't wait. Okay, tempted me, but this is like a vacation. It's more fun expecting it than when it happens. It's over. So I love good news coming down the pike because it's something to anticipate and look forward to.
Well, this is good news that when it actually happens, you're going to go, yes. You're going to be happy, and the effects of it.
Wait a minute. It can't get any better than what it is now.
Or could it?
Well, hey, if the lawyers are listening to that, I went through the merchant agreement word for word. It's easy. I mean, there's a lot of legalese in it, which there has to be. pretty easy to understand, pretty explanatory, and I love it that y'all put on there that it's an agreement, not a contract, and there's nothing scary to a merchant at all. So well written, and just kudos to the lawyers, okay?
Thank you.
And Larry.
Gene Mullen did a great job on that. Dedication like you wouldn't believe.
Well, I tell merchants, I said, they said, well, can you leave me one? I said, I'll be glad to. And they all say what they like the best is there's no contract period, but there's nothing scary in there at all. I said, it's just agreement. It basically tells you how the system works, and that's basically what it does.
Yeah, and the way that it works is so simple. We're basically going, in a way, we've kind of changed the model here, and I apologize for everybody that was receiving those emails and it had join.me on it still. We will use join.me going forward in a little bit, probably another couple of weeks, because we're basically all my computers are in the middle of different processes and don't want to take them out of it in order to share my desktop. But for the time being, this is going to basically be a call-only conference call. It will not be a webinar for a while. One of the reasons is that we're shooting all these videos. On this call, I'll reference videos. I'll be able to tell you exactly where to see it on our YouTube channel or exactly where to see it in your back office and so forth, exactly which documents references the playlist that we're putting together. So in a way, we'll still have the ability for me to give an example. I'm just going to say, okay, it's over there at Power 2 Change, and it's the video that's numbered, video 2B75 or whatever. That way you'll be able to get right to it, and that video will answer the question, and you can watch it while I'm answering the question, and then we'll come back to you. When you're doing a webinar and managing the phone lines at the same time, it's kind of like rubbing your head and patting your stomach and hopping on a unicycle. It's kind of hard to do all at once. So it's better that I'm just doing the conference call. So that's just for the time being. Okay.
Well, it's there's a lot of good stuff in the back office now for tutorials about how to register a merchant. Very helpful.
Absolutely, and more to come.
It's getting very easy to do. Thanks, Larry. I'll get out of the way. Let me mute so I won't get so much echo.
Stay close. People always ask for your opinion, so stay close.
I gave out my email the other night. I think I've answered 15 emails in the last 3 days, but I don't mind helping anybody. I've sent out my a little scenario that I give to merchants when I walk up just to introduce myself, and I think that's very helpful. But I'd be glad to give it out to anybody else if they need it.
Well, we're definitely once we get through this part where we're because we reach compliance and then the states take a look at it and then they come back and so forth, and so once we get it, we think that'll only go on for another couple of days, business days, another couple of weeks, and then smooth sailing, more bandwidth, more time to focus on getting collateral materials out there for marketing as well as for tutorials and training. Once again, as Volker said, Germany is promising us that they're going to have the tutorials in English for the certification pathway any day. So, and they have the ones that are shot with the actual release candidates for the pages. So, for instance, if I were to shoot the tutorial videos right now, things are changing. So the video will be moot. I'll have to take it down and reshoot it in the next couple of days, waiting for different things to be deployed through the back office. So it kind of makes no sense to shoot it and then have to shoot it again in a few days.
I understand you're locked up with all the legalese. When that's over, things will start happening quicker. But I installed my last terminal that had the little folder where you put the handouts in it. And he says, when's my handouts coming? So they're coming in the near future. Is that correct?
Yeah, all these things are being worked on. That's coming from Germany.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Larry. I'll be here. I won't meet out, though.
All right.
Larry, I have another question. One to preface what Larry Holcomb was saying, if I could.
Okay.
David, Southern Cali. Larry, I forwarded you an email requesting the procedure that you had offered the team, and I wanted to verify the email address. I have B as in boy, the numerals 42, Angus as in a bovine animal, a black Angus, ANGUS, at CATT.com.
That's correct. And if you send it to me, please resend it. I think I've answered 15 emails. And of course, I get a lot of business emails too. please resend it. I'll be glad to send it to you. No problem at all.
Be appreciative, sir. And Larry, one quick question and follow up to the one on the KTM repurchases for future orders under the new version. Does that apply to a VIP terminal that is shipped prior to the upgrade of the new 3.5 version? Would the same process be followed if I wanted to use my VIP terminal as a demo, or either sell it or transfer it to another DMR or a merchant?
Okay, so there's going to be a different form for each of these scenarios, and it's going to, basically kind of covering it in these where we're giving examples and scenarios. It sounds very complex for people that are brand new. For you brand new people, what we're talking about are very kind of things that are scenarios that can happen. In general, and just let me I'll answer that question, but in general, for you brand new people, you sign up for $3.99, you engage with your the partner that signs you up, and they're engaged with the regional coordinators and state managers and Bill Resides, the country manager, and you can immediately go using your regional coordinators and upline and do three-way calls and sign up merchants and place terminals. The terminals are placed by the merchant buying the terminal from their back office once their account's set up. Now, what we're talking about here with David are different scenarios where in the past people have purchased terminals, and now we're talking about those extraneous scenarios where, let's say, a brand new DMR comes in next month and they want to have a terminal, and David has a terminal that he's not using and he wants to transfer it over to that new person. There will be a form for that. That's a change of ownership, partner to partner, or DMR to DMR, I believe is what it's going to be called. You'll see it in your back office. It'll be under, I believe, under partner agreements. And so that's when a brand new DMR comes in and they want to have a terminal for demo purposes, not to be placed in a merchant location. The other thing that Dave was talking about is you're a VIP and you have a beautiful terminal because you listen to Larry Holcomb and you never use it for anything and you want to place it with a merchant. That can be done. There's a form for that in your back office pretty soon under partner agreement, I believe, or it might be under marketing. We're still determining where to put that. And that one, you're going to have the ability to place that in the merchant for $0 up to the number of dollars that you paid for that terminal. You cannot charge them sales tax or shipping, though. You can't charge them tax on that. We've already taxed it. You can't charge them shipping on that. So you're selling it for exactly the principal price for what you paid for it, and there's a form that you'll both have to sign. What will happen there is when you're placing it, you're going to get the placement as a VIP. You're placing a VIP terminal. You're going to get that VIP placement $100. Your upline will get their commission from that as well, and you're getting 20% from the side that comes over to the partners and FlexKom. So what that is when a customer gets, say, a dollar off on a purchase, then $1 comes over to the other side. That other side is the partner who gets 60%, not the partner, but the partner the organization, all the partners, and then the FlexKom who gets 40% of that dollar. So 60 cents goes over for the partner's compensation plan, and then 40% comes over to pay for our computers and our lights here in Henderson. Okay.
Okay. Excellent breakdown, and I thank you again, Larry.
I love the questions. Larry, you come up with some complex ones, Dave. Go ahead.
Very quick question. Go to the scenario. I tried to tell Alex today that what happens with that new, I don't know what you call it, contract or just a form, when we sell a KTM terminal to a merchant. I told Alex, and I may quote this wrong, but you go ahead and register the merchant and get the signed agreement, W-9, and sign the form to transfer that KTM terminal to a merchant. And then you send everything in, and then you go meet the merchant and call FlexKom and have them pay for that terminal. And they're actually paying FlexKom for the terminal, and FlexKom will reimburse the Alex back in this case back for the amount that they gave him. Correct?
That's right, and that's a compliance thing. So you're probably saying, why is there a two-step dance there? It's because I'm from Texas. We do the two-step. No, it's basically because the compliance team, basically, I'm not going to call out the states that make each compliance rule. It's not fair to them. That's just the way their government happens to be. They want to see us involved in the transaction to validate that the KTM is made whole and the merchant is made whole. So we have to be the arbiter for that transaction.
So we can actually go ahead and place a terminal, and then when we get there, call in and have that merchant pay for it with a credit card at that point in time. Is that correct?
That's right.
You're through with everything.
We want you to call. Yep. We want you to call in on that one.
And just sell it for, you can give it away for $1, sell it for $1, or up to the amount we paid for, including shipping, correct?
The shipping part is...
Or taxes.
Let me look at that. I have to look at my notes because, this is one of those things that if the lawyers are listening, this is what they'll beat me up on tomorrow.
It is. I think it's plus taxes, not shipping. I may have misquoted.
It should be on the form.
I believe it is. It's right. It's right on the form. It's very explanatory, so it's on the form. I know that. But
yeah, they're probably listening. So I don't want to step on a landmine.
It's pretty self-explanatory on the form.
Okay, I'm actually a minute late for a webinar, not a webinar, but a conference call I have to do. So let's do this. Tomorrow we'll do another conference call at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And any questions that I didn't get to tonight, please send an email to American Support at FlexKom.com. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, send those to American Support at FlexKom.com. We really listen to you. We love the PIN idea from George K., things like that. We're real time here with you folks because we love you, we need you, and we believe in you. The archive of this conference call will be up on our YouTube channel, Power to Change, within about 24 hours. And once again, Volker is not doing his webinar tomorrow. We have a blog talk tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific, making it 10 a.m. Eastern. And then Monday, blog talk at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Then the Volker webinar at 9 a.m. Pacific, making it noon Eastern. And then wrapping up the day with the Q&A conference call at 6 p.m. Pacific at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'm Larry Skinner, Chief Operations Officer for FlexKom America Incorporated in Henderson, Nevada. This archive will be available for you within 24 hours, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Good night.